Before the story begins, take 1 second to subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. This is a moment people will be talking about for years. Now let's get straight to it. Breaking tonight. President Donald Trump is demanding that Canada stop the bridge. Not later, not next month. Right now. And Canada is refusing. Live in front of the world. This is not a small disagreement. This is not a quiet phone call behind closed doors. This is a direct clash between the President of the United States and one of America's closest allies, and it is unfolding in real time. The bridge at the center of this storm is not just steel and concrete. It is power. It is trade. It is control. Billions of dollars in goods move across that border every year. Cars, food, oil, medicine. Jobs depend on it. Families depend on it. President Trump stepped forward and said the project must stop. He said it threatens American workers. He said it puts U.S. interests at risk. He warned of serious consequences if Canada does not listen. But Canada did not blink. Standing firm, Canadian leaders responded clearly. The bridge will move forward. Construction will continue. No pause, no delay, no apology. And suddenly, the White House looked stunned. This was supposed to be simple. A demand from Washington, a quick agreement from Ottawa. That is how these things usually go. But this time, the script flipped. Markets reacted. Reporters rushed. Lawmakers scrambled. Because when too close, let's break this down in plain words. President Trump believes the bridge gives Canada too much control over trade flowing into the United States. He argues that American companies could lose money. He says American workers could lose jobs. And he is making it clear that he will not allow any deal that weakens the United States. But Canada sees it very differently. Canadian officials say the bridge will improve traffic, lower costs, and create jobs on both sides of the border. They say it will strengthen supply chains. They say it will reduce delays that hurt businesses every single day. And here's where the tension explodes. The president publicly urged Canada to stop construction. He warned that the United States could review trade agreements. He hinted at possible tariffs. He suggested there could be consequences. Yet, instead of backing down, Canada doubled down. They held a press conference. They confirmed the timeline. They made it clear the project continues. No hesitation, no fear. And that moment sent a powerful message. Canada was not just defending a bridge. The political stakes are huge. President Trump has built his leadership style around strength, around winning, around putting America first. When he makes a demand, he expects results. But this time, the cameras captured something unusual. Resistance. Canada's refusal was calm. It was direct, and it was public. That matters. Because in politics, image is power. And when another country openly rejects a request from the U.S. president, people notice. Supporters of the president argue that he is fighting for American jobs. They say he is standing up to foreign governments that take advantage of the United States. They see this as another example of tough leadership. Critics say the strategy could backfire. They warn that pushing too hard could damage trust with a key ally. There is another layer to this story. Diplomacy is usually quiet. Leaders talk behind closed doors. They negotiate, they compromise. They avoid public embarrassment. But this dispute exploded into the open. President Trump's demand was not hidden. It was direct and forceful. He made it clear that he wants the project stopped. Canada's response was just as public. They did not soften their tone. They did not delay their answer. They said no. That simple word has now created a serious test between two nations that share the longest border in the world. Some experts believe this is about leverage. They say the president may be trying to gain stronger terms in future trade talks. Others believe he genuinely sees the bridge as a threat to American economic power. Either way, the result is the same. The White House expected movement. Instead, it met resistance. And when resistance happens on live television, it changes the tone of the entire relationship. Behind the scenes, officials are likely working Now the big question is this. What happens next? If the president follows through on his warnings, trade tensions could rise quickly. Tariffs could return. Negotiations could freeze. Markets could shake. If Canada stays firm, it sends a message not only to Washington, but to the world. It shows that even close allies will push back when they believe they are right. This is bigger than a construction project. It is about leadership. It is about power. It is about how far a president can go when he believes he is defending national interests. The American public is watching closely. Supporters want strength. Critics want stability. Businesses want certainty. And right now, certainty is in short supply. The bridge continues to rise, steel by steel, day by day. And with every piece, tonight, the pressure inside the White House is real. When a president makes a public demand and another country refuses, it creates a moment of choice: escalate or step back. President Trump has built his image on never backing down. His supporters admire that. They believe America must show strength at all times. They believe compromise can look like weakness. But governing is not just about image. It is about results. Behind closed doors, advisors are likely asking hard questions. What will tariffs do to prices? What will markets do tomorrow morning? How will voters react if this fight hurts jobs instead of protecting them? Because here is the truth. Trade between the United States and Canada is massive. It supports millions of jobs. It fuels factories. It keeps supply chains moving. A serious clash could shake that foundation. And yet the president's message remains firm. America first. No project that threatens American workers. No deal that weakens U.S. power. The world hears that message clearly, but Canada is sending its own message just as clearly. We will not be pressured. This is now more than policy. It is pride on both. Let's talk about the international impact. When the United States and Canada disagree so openly, other countries are watching closely. Allies in Europe, partners in Asia, rivals across the globe. They're asking one simple question. If Canada can defy Washington, what does that mean for everyone else? Some leaders may see this as a sign that American influence is shifting. Others may see it as proof that the president is willing to challenge even friendly nations to protect U.S. interests. Either way, it changes the conversation. Investors do not like uncertainty. Markets do not like conflict between major trade partners. Even small tensions can create waves. And this is not small. This is a direct public clash between the current U.S. president and a neighboring nation that has stood beside America for decades. Inside Congress, reactions are mixed. Some lawmakers are praising President Trump. They say he is doing exactly what voters elected him to do. They argue that strong pressure is the only language other governments respect. Others are urging caution. They warn that economic retaliation could hit American farmers, factory workers, and small businesses. They remind everyone that supply chains between the two countries are deeply connected. One car part may cross the border several times before the vehicle is finished. One agricultural product may rely on open access to Canadian markets. If barriers go up, costs go up. And when costs go up, families feel it. This is why some voices in Washington are quietly pushing for negotiation rather than confrontation. There is also a deeper question beneath this fight. What does strength really look like? Is it standing your ground no matter what? Or is it finding a solution that protects interests without damaging relationships? President Trump believes strong leadership means drawing clear lines. He believes America must not appear weak on the world stage. Canada believes sovereignty means making decisions without outside pressure. Both sides believe they are defending their nation. That is what makes this clash so intense. This is not personal, this is national. And when national pride is involved, compromise becomes harder. The American people are divided. Some cheer the president's tough stance. Others worry about long-term consequences. But everyone agrees on one thing. So where does this story go from here? There are only a few paths. One path leads to escalation. Tariffs, legal challenges, public accusations, markets reacting sharply. Another path leads to quiet talks behind closed doors. A revised agreement, a face-saving solution for both sides. But tonight, we are not there yet. Tonight, what we see is a rare and powerful moment. A sitting U.S. president demanding a halt. A neighboring nation refusing in full view of the world. And a White House forced to respond. The bridge stands as a symbol now, not just of trade, but of tension. Not just of connection, but of conflict. This is about influence, about leverage, about the limits of presidential power on the global stage. And as cameras stay locked on this developing story, one reality is clear. This confrontation has exposed cracks in what many thought was an unshakable partnership. Whether those cracks widen or